always need batteries that last 15 years, the lifetime of a car. That is coming along. Can't say exactly when that will happen, but something that's 5 times better will really, and cost-effective, will really revolutionize the personal vehicle transportation sector. Now, let me throw out a quiz, since I used to be a professor. What does a Boeing 777 have in common with a bar-tailed godwit? Now, what's a bar-tailed godwit? It's a bird. It's, in case you don't know what it looks like, this is what it looks like. It's about this big. And what they have in common is that they can both fly long distances non-stop, about 11,000 kilometers, over 7,000 miles non-stop. Okay? Now, when a 777 takes off, 45% of its weight, takeoff weight, is in jet fuel. When a bar-tailed godwit takes off, 55% of its weight is in body fat. And it lands, it actually migrates from Alaska to New Zealand and back every year. It can do this non-stop. It's astounding why it would want to do that. No. Let alone it can do that, it can stay awake. But it lands a very skinny bird. The last thing we need to do, and in order to get the carbon emissions of the world down where it needs to be in order to prevent the planet from really going off the edge, is that we don't have some of the breakthroughs we really need. I mean, in a developed country like the United States, we really have to get the carbon down by 80% by mid-century. So we need a few more scientific breakthroughs. As Governor Corzine said, New Jersey is the home of Thomas Alva Edison, his famous Menlo Park laboratory, and he did invent the light bulb. But one of the things he also invented was an electricity distribution system, and he installed it. Because that was another pioneering thing. Again, the United States led the way. It led in the first electricity distribution system in the world. Bell Laboratories is really one of your shining stars, or used to be one of your shining stars in New Jersey. This is a picture of Bell Labs in Murray Hill, New Jersey. Just in case you're interested, I used to live right up here, and that's the original farmhouse. It's just where that little arrow is. It's a remarkable place. 17 scientists who worked at Bell Laboratories got the Nobel Prize. Even more remarkable because Bell Laboratories never hired senior people. They only hired kids. And so all these kids actually got it. They made many, many things. Bell Labs invented the transistor, invented the solar silicon cell, invented the laser. 2009 Physics Nobel Prize for the CCD camera and detectors. Many, many things. And a lot of things they did, like cellular phone technology, information theory, they didn't give Nobel Prizes for those things. In fact, I didn't think they would give Nobel Prizes for CCD detectors, but what the heck. So this is sort of the thing that we need. And for that reason, when I became Secretary of Energy, research laboratories like Los Alamos and Lincoln Labs that developed radar and Bell Laboratories were really excellent models of putting together engineers and scientists and saying, we have a very short time, we want to deliver the goods. It's not about writing papers in journals anymore. It's about actually making something that can be out there and get manufactured and be used in a very short time. And for that reason, we are starting a number of energy innovation hubs. I call them Bell Lablets, and we'll see how they work. The final thing we need to do is we have to act now with fierce urgency. And right now in front of Congress, in front of the Senate, is the signals that will send business leaders such as yourselves in the right direction. We cannot go on a business as usual trajectory. Otherwise, just imagine 20, 30 years from today, what will our children and grandchildren say about us? We need a comprehensive energy bill, and one of the most important things is you have to put a cap on carbon, you have to ratchet that down. And that gives you a very long-term signal that we are serious about this. If you have a bill with just carrots, everybody will take the carrots and eat them happily. But the other thing, the cap and the ratcheting down says, and long term that the United States is serious in this respect. How much will this cost? Well, there's been 3 analyses of the Waxman-Markey bill, and it varies, but it's on the order, the high is 1 postage stamp a day of roughly 44 cents. So it's not going to hopefully devastate the American public. The pure sectors actually would come off better than this, and so this is what it's going to cost. So this is what it'll cost in order to take on the leadership in the new industrial revolution. But let me ask another question. What will it cost if we don't do this? And that cost is enormous, because China is moving very aggressively. Europe is moving very aggressively. They're seeing, and this is something that came home very loud and clear in China, they see this as a business opportunity. They see this as a major foundation stone for their new economy. That's why they're doing it, as well as the fact of climate change. And so I'll leave you finally that, look, the train's leaving the station. We need to get on board. Thank you.
Secretary Chu has agreed to take some questions. There are 2 microphones, I think. I can't see them in the audience. Could somebody get rid of those lights in the back?
Turn on the lights.
And those really bright ones that are in our eyes. That's what, which are probably for the cameras. That's good. Okay.
Can you hear these?
Yes, and we can only take a few questions. So probably nobody else should even bother. We're going to go from one side to the other. And we're only going to do it for maybe 10 minutes max. That's great. Why don't we start on the right? Identify yourself, who you were, and please keep the questions short for the
Surely. My name is Reuben Brown from the EQ Company. I represent the performance contracting industry in New Jersey, as well as the micro combined heat and power industry. Last week at a hearing in front of the Commissioner Fox and others, I testified on micro CHP's potentials in the home residential marketplace. We have 100,000 furnaces and boilers replaced in 300,000 homes that use natural gas in New Jersey. In effect, we could cut the electricity requirements of those homes dramatically. In the home retrofit work group that you're chairing with the next 30 days, reporting back to Vice President Biden, is there a possibility that the standards that New Jersey is proposing for climate choice and others could be considered with respect to these and other technologies?
Well, there's an FOA is, if it hasn't gone out, it's about to go out, and so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be piloting a number of programs, and we're going to ask for people, organizations to actually forward those. So this is, so what we're going to do is we're going to respond to the proposals, and we're going to fund several big players that, again, can stand by the work, but we're also, because it is a piloting experiment, we're also going to be funding some small players. In terms of standards or something like that, this goes state to state. And so this is an issue, and so, you know, we're of course predisposed to those states and those companies in those states who are showing leadership in this area, because what we really need are existence proofs that this can work and it can really save money as well as energy.
So the home labeling issue is
the home labeling is something that the Department of Energy, in collaborating with EPA, we want to do this. We want to have tools that actually, as property changes hands and as new homes are built, that you will have software tools that make a reasonably good estimate of the energy use per home, so that when a consumer buys either a new home or an older home, they have a reasonable idea of how much energy they will use. We're working with Sean Donovan and HUD so that, for example, we would like the banks to ask for the last year's utility bills, the energy bills of the previous year, non-counterfeitable things. The transaction cost is minimal because utility companies hold those, but it creates a motivated seller